What is going on, everybody? Welcome to something that's very, 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 very different on my channel. I've never done anything like this before, but I've wanted to for a very, very long time. We are doing a 2021 NFL mock draft. As a lot of you probably know on my channel, I love football. I love football very, very much, and I follow it a lot. I'm not a professional by any means, okay? But we thought this might be fun. And with me today, right there, right to my on you, I don't freaking know, is my boy Mikeyyy. He's in the description down below. Go sub to him. This man's amazing. Him and I are going to be doing this mock draft together, actually. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking all the odd numbers draft picks, and he will be taking all the even number draft picks. Then we'll just be going through them and seeing what happens and where the chips fall. I need to preface this. We are not professionals.
No,
this is all just where we think people will go, where, like, what we think might happen, what we think would be fun to see it happen. That's all this is. We're just going to have fun with it. If you guys do enjoy this, make sure you guys hit the like button on this video. It would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, too. Make sure you subscribe to both of our channels. I'm trying to get to 800, because if we get to 800 in the next 3 days, the people on the channel get to pick my hair color. I mean, granted, by the time this episode comes out, which will probably be tomorrow,
2 days.
Yeah, it'll be 2 days left. You guys have 2 days to get me to 800, then you guys get to pick my hair color. If not, I'm picking my own hair color. So this is what it is. Let's get us there. But without further ado, is there anything you'd like to say before we hop into this, sir?
Well, first thing I would like to say is I really can't read what you're sharing to me.
What? You can't?
Not really, no.
Uh-oh.
I just noticed that.
I did not think this. I guess. Okay. So here's the thing.
You can change what you're sharing to me. Oh wait, there we go. There we go. I can see it.
Oh dear goodness.
What?
How do I fix that?
What'd you do?
My entire left monitor is now this thing.
Well, is it?
How do I fix this?
Ooh. Well, whatever you...
Oh, there it goes. Hold on. Hang on. This is not going well, everybody. This is not going well.
Well, you say whatever you did made it crystal clear.
I'm just gonna... Well, yeah, because it took up my entire monitor. I couldn't see the actual draft.
With what you were sending to me, you could have just had it behind everything else, too.
But I couldn't click on anything else. Like, it was just in the forefront of the thing. It took up the whole thing.
Weird. That's so weird.
Like, I just moved it to the other monitor and it did that. But I just showed you the whole like thing for it. You just won't be able to see like our faces in this in the thing.
Fine.
But that should make it a little bit easier to see.
Now I can read it.
But without further ado, let's get into this. So the first pick will be mine to take. I also would like to say I'm taking the odd pick, so I don't have to pick for the Minnesota Vikings because, you know, I'm a Minnesota boy. I love the Vikings. I love them very, very much.
New England.
He's a Patriots fan, so I'm taking the odds, so he doesn't have to. That's actually kind of cool how that worked out, because your team actually picks right after mine.
Yeah, they're right back to back.
Because we were slightly worse than you.
Just slightly.
We were just barely worse.
We were bad too, don't worry.
This first pick should surprise nobody who follows the NFL or any sort of football at all. The first overall pick will be Trevor Lawrence going to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Urban Meyer taking over that system. He's going to get his quarterback of the future, probably the most polished, ready-to-go quarterback since Andrew Luck.
I would even say he might be a little bit more ready than Andrew Luck.
I mean, he's about as close to as anything of Peyton Manning coming out of the draft as you can possibly get. He's about as close to that as you can get. This should be in no way a difficult pick for them. They should be ready to go with it starting off.
Trevor Lawrence, number one, obviously.
Now the fun part comes with number two. I'll let you take this one away.
So my thought process with this is that they want someone who's kind of been a little more in the spotlight, a little more recognized, a little more, I don't want to say reliable, but like something they feel like they can trust a little bit more. So I feel like they're going to go quarterback, obviously, because they need one.
So let's go to the quarterbacks here.
I believe they're going to go Justin Fields.
You believe they're going Justin Fields over
I think that they're going to
Wilson?
go Justin Fields. I think he's probably a little bit of a better fit for for the franchise from the program he's coming from.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, he's definitely got like the spotlight on him all the time at Ohio State.
Exactly.
Like, he's gonna have a lot of spotlight on him with the Jets because they are very, very bad.
They're very bad.
They are unbelievably bad. So now we come up to the Dolphins. Okay, now in a normal in the actual draft, what I think is going to happen is the Dolphins trade this pick if they even have it. If they don't get Deshaun Watson somehow. In this draft, we're not going to be doing any trades. We're not going to be doing anything like that. So it's just going to be where they pick is where we're going to try to get the best player possible for them. Obviously, there's going to be trades before the draft. There'll be trades during the draft. I think this could be a realistic spot that one of these teams trades up to grab their quarterback in the future.
Agree.
But with this pick, I don't think that the Dolphins have any other choice but then to take the best wide receiver in the draft, Devontae Smith. Yes, Jamar Chase might be ranked higher than him technically, but in terms of overall best wide receiver in the class, you give them Devontae Smith. I don't think that they give up on Tua either. You drafted him in the top 5 picks last year. They had the number 5 pick last year, I think.
Yeah.
They took him with number 5. You don't just give up after half of a season. So I think that they stick with him. They give him a stud with Devontae Smith, who actually is teaming up with his old Alabama quarterback in Tua. So you give him a player who he's familiar with. You know, granted, they also could have gone with Jalen Waddle here. Jalen Waddle, absolute beast, also could have paired up very, very nicely. But Devontae Smith is an absolute stud, so I think that's where they go with this pick.
So the Falcons are a little interesting. I don't think Matty Ice is much longer.
No,
just in general, let alone with the Falcons.
Getting on in years a little bit.
He is. So I believe that they're going to draft a quarterback to back up Matt Ryan, to learn from him, if not to take over the in the franchise. I see Zach Wilson going now.
You see Zach Wilson going right now.
I see Zach Wilson going now.
Okay.
He learns from Matt Ryan. He's considered one of the best that the franchise has ever had. He's a very, very good quarterback. Definitely has a lot to teach. So I think Zach Wilson could be under him for a year or two and just really, really learn everything he needs to know.
Yeah, I mean, you give Zach Wilson a year or two to figure out the NFL, you're going to be lighting it up every single year.
Exactly.
So now here's the fun part of mock drafts. Him and I just did one. Okay, just to kind of get a feel for it and everything like that. And in this pick, I actually took a different player, and I explained it to him a little bit. And I'm going to take the same player here. I'm going to take the exact same player that I did before. Yep. A lot of people are probably going to mock Penei Sewell to the Bengals. That is not an uncommon thing to see. But I think once it comes down to draft day, once you actually look at the players and everything, I believe the most polished, ready-to-go tackle in the entire draft class is down here, and that's Rashawn Slater. I think Rashawn Slater's a better fit. Granted, Penei Sewell has a higher upside. Penei Sewell is a monster. Okay, don't get me wrong. Penei Sewell is an absolute stud. But I think that Rashawn Slater is a better day one starter than Penei Sewell. Flame me in the comments. Start it now.
So I can't remember where I went with last time on this one. If I went with wide receiver,
nope. I'm pretty sure went linebacker. I think you went Micah Parsons.
I went linebacker on this one. That is correct.
Yes,
that's exactly what I did. There was an absolute monster sitting there, and the Falcons, the Eagles, really need this big defensive presence on their team right now.
Their defense
they really don't have that.
Their defense.
They need that big defensive back. So I went with Micah Parsons. That's exactly what it was.
Micah Parsons,
monster.
Going to the Eagles. What I might maybe try to do is I'm maybe going to try to edit in like their like face coming across the screen, or like their like stats or something coming across the screen or something. I could try to do that. This is just kind of thrown together at the last minute. I literally called this man and be like, hey, you want to be in a video?
He messaged me like an hour and a half ago, and I was still in bed.
I had just got my tires changed. All right. Now we got the Detroit Lions, an NFC North team, the first NFC North team on this list. I don't really like the Lions. I like them
You're Minnesota
more.
Boy.
I like them more than the Bears and the Packers.
They're not your least favorite.
No, they are not my least favorite of the bunch. So it has been very, very apparent. A lot of people have said this. It's been very, very open. Matthew Stafford is going to be gone. He will not be in
No, he will not.
Detroit come next season. So you think about it. You're like, okay, what do they do here? Do they try to bring back Matthew Stafford somehow and go wide receiver? Do they try to trade for somebody like a Deshaun Watson? Do they try to get a hold of Aaron Rodgers? You know, do you get Aaron Rodgers?
Rodgers isn't leaving.
Do you trade for Jimmy G? Do you try to grab Jimmy Garoppolo? It's an option. Or do you try to find your stud quarterback of the future in the draft with the top 3 quarterbacks off the board already? I believe that they probably will sign a quarterback in the offseason, probably if Cam Newton doesn't come back to the Patriots, if whatever happens, they'll sign a veteran player to give him a few games in the season, and they draft Trey Lance. Trey Lance has all of the tools to be a very good quarterback. He's just not as polished as these other 3. And we don't know. Can he win big games like that? Coming from a school like North Dakota State, can he win at the level of the NFL? Can he win at the highest level? We don't know. But I think they take that chance here because of the tools that he has. Next up are the Panthers.
God, I'm not able to remember anything we did last time.
See, that's the whole fun, though, is you don't have to do it the exact same way.
We don't have to do the same, but like the Panthers have a quarterback need, but honestly, I don't think they're really going to address that.
I mean, you look at the other quarterbacks, and the next one on the board is Mac Jones.
Yeah, but I don't think they would go that fast. I don't think that they...
You can't have 5 quarterbacks go in the top 8.
Exactly. I feel like they're going to have something else. They're going to go... They're definitely going to go defensive, I believe. They're probably going to go defensive. They really need to... They need to up their secondary, I believe, more than anything. They really lack back there. They get burned all the time. They just can't cover.
Okay.
I do believe that with this pick, I think I went with Caleb Farley out of Virginia Tech.
Yes. I think that's probably what you did. So Caleb Farley is probably the best corner in this draft. You know, a lot of people are going to be upset about that. But what about Patrick Surtain?
I believe Farley's better.
He's more of a true shutdown type corner. I don't think there's ever going to be a true shutdown corner ever again in the NFL, just with the way offenses are built. But he is about as close to that as you get, and he is ready to start day 1. He is an absolute stud coming on the outside. Next up are the Broncos. Okay, I went a certain way with this pick.
You did.
I went with Patrick Surtain in our last one. That's not where I'm going with this one.
Okay.
I've jumbled back and forth, you know, this Broncos team a dozen times over. They have about a million different ways that they can go. I think if you're sitting here and you've got your young quarterback who's in his 3rd year now, I believe this would be his 3rd year.
Drew Lock, yes.
So you're sitting there and you're like, okay, we need an edge rusher. Kwity Paye's right here. Kwity Paye's a beast. Okay, He's right there for us. Okay, you need cornerback. You got Patrick Surtain. That's who I actually gave them in our mock draft just a little bit ago. I don't think they go that route though. I think that they see a player on the board that shouldn't be there, and they're like, you know what? Let's take him. Let's give our quarterback some time. Let's give him some room. We take Penei Sewell right off the board just so that the Cowboys don't get him. That's part of the thing. We gave Penei Sewell to the Cowboys because it's their number 1 need. I think that Penei Sewell stops there. I honestly think he could go to any of those teams, even after the Bengals. The Eagles could take him sitting there. The Lions could take him sitting there. The Panthers could take him sitting there. He's just that good of a player. But I think he stops there at the Broncos. You give yourself that type of a star player.
Understandable.
And now the Cowboys.
So last time we did give them Penei Sewell, but I do believe they will still stick with the offensive line.
As long as they don't go wide receiver here, I think everyone will be happy.
They need offensive protection for their quarterbacks. That was their main issue last year. The fact that they had 2 quarterbacks both get hurt because their quarterback wasn't protected. Like Dak Prescott with his very, very scary injury.
They did also have a lot of injuries to their offensive line.
They did.
They're missing 2 of their star offensive line players. They'd still need offensive line help. They could also use a corner. You got Patrick Surtain there. You could use an interior defensive guy. You could use an edge guy. You could grab Kwity Paye, Joseph Ossai. All sorts of options for you. Where are you going?
I'm still leaning towards the offensive line.
Picture yourself. Picture yourself in a big yacht. Okay. Chilling back, 4 flat screens all up in front of you, just thinking like Jerry Jones. You got to think like Jerry Jones.
Oh, I don't want to think like Jerry Jones.
I don't either.
Don't make me do it.
All right. Think they go offensive here?
It's either they take one of the top 2 offensive linemen still sitting there.
No,
or they would take Patrick Surtain.
Christian Darrisaw.
I think it's either Cosme Darrisaw or they go with Patrick Surtain.
Okay.
But like, they don't have the worst secondary. It's not good, let me tell you, but it's not the worst.
It's not good. They gave up so many points last year, it wasn't even funny.
Let's give him Patrick Surtain because
giving them that stud corner.
I feel like they do also need to buff up their defense. They could pick up an offensive lineman a little bit later in the draft, maybe get some signings in the offseason.
So I did a thing in our last one. I gave the New York Giants Kyle Pitts, the tight end out of Florida, who anybody who follows this guy, he is not a tight end. He is a straight up wide receiver. This dude's a physical specimen. He's probably the best tight end I've ever watched on tape in my entire life. He is unbelievably good. Now, I'm not going to have them take him here. Okay, he is a need, but I'm not going to have them take him here. They go a different route. They see a player on the board. They like him. They've looked at all of his tape. They've done their due diligence on him and yada, yada, yada.
I think I know.
They take Kwity Paye right here.
Kwity Paye. I knew it was
Kwity
coming.
Paye. Takes him away from the Vikings, which upsets me because I want the Vikings to get an edge rusher like that. That'd be awesome. However, he's sitting there. Kwity Paye is going to be a star at the next level.
Wait, is it Paye or Payne?
Oh, it's Paye. Whoops, I was reading it incorrectly.
I had thought it was Payne
Paye.
too, but it's Kwity Paye.
Yeah, it's Kwity Paye. Sorry, my bad. Again, we're not professionals. Not professionals. I'm going to have to put a disclaimer.
No way, shape, or form are we professionals.
We're just doing this for fun. We like to give our opinions. I mean, I do follow a good bit of this, but this is all just what we think is going to happen.
Yeah.
All just in good fun. Next up with the San Francisco 49ers.
49ers. So, the way I saw the Niners going with this, I saw them going defensive. To give them a little bit more to work with. Because they have a couple guys that were very injury prone. A couple guys that are getting up there. Like they have Nick Bosa, don't get me wrong, one of the best defensive players in the league. But he got hurt last season, as did Richard Sherman. They both got hurt very, very early on, and that defense struggled. So I definitely see them going cornerback. You knew exactly where I was going. I see them taking J.C. Horn.
J.C. Horn is an amazing player.
Such a good young player. Can definitely come out and just make some waves, and can definitely get them that extra coverage out there that they need.
No, so this is one of the teams that I know the least about what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
like, the Chargers have so many weird holes that they need to fill. They've got their stud quarterback, though. You've got great wide receivers. You've got a great running back in Austin Eckler. Your defense is very, very solid. So where do you go? You swing right on down here into the draft and you grab Christian Darrisaw. Stud offensive tackle who's going to be ready to go. Might struggle in the first few games, but he picks it up real quick, and they have a very good, solid offensive line moving forward to protect their future in their quarterback, Justin Herbert. Now my team, the Minnesota Vikings.
I gave them Kwity Paye last time.
Yup.
But now I'm going to go with the second player that I would have given them, which is Jamar Chase. Because here's the thing. You got to think about this. They have two really, really good receivers already.
Yeah.
You brought this up to me. Adam Thielen is 31.
He's 31 years old.
Whereas you have Justin Jefferson coming off of one of the most phenomenal rookie years he could have
had. The most phenomenal rookie year ever, probably. Except for maybe
And imagine adding Jamar Chase, his former teammate, to that mix.
Oh. This might piss off a lot of Vikings fans, though, because like they're like, well, we need a defensive lineman. We need offensive linemen. The thing that I would say about it is, yes, Adam Thielen is also 31 years old. Okay, Adam Thielen's getting up there in age. He might have 2-3 years left in him. Okay, we do not have a true number three wide receiver. Okay, you've got Justin Jefferson, who is an unbelievable route runner. Okay, he's got all the technical ability in the world. You pair him with Jamar Chase, and you've got your 1-2 punch of a wide receiver for the next 10 years, even after Adam Thielen is gone. But while you have Thielen, you probably have the top three, probably the best top 3 receiving core in the entire NFL. Because you've got Adam Thielen, was a touchdown magnet last year. The dude caught as many touchdowns as anybody I've ever seen. You've got Justin Jefferson, who's a phenomenal route runner. He's just a great overall player. And you've got Jamar Chase, who can take the top off of every single defense in the NFL. That would be an amazing pick, and one that I think a lot of Vikings fans would be upset with, but a lot of Vikings fans would be super happy with, me being included in that. Because you look at who's left. You've got Samuel Cosmi. Okay, yeah, he's a good offensive tackle, but he's not good enough where I think that you jump at the chance to take him at 14. Granted, the Vikings could also trade out of this and go down in the draft and pick up somebody later. I think that's a very distinct possibility with our GM being the way he is.
Very true.
And now, the New England Patriots. This is an easy pick.
Oh, 100%.
This is an easy pick. It's Kyle Pitts. You don't got to think about it.
We haven't had a good tight end in a long time.
Yeah,
man.
you give them probably the best tight end prospect we've seen in a long time, and suddenly this offense is firing on some solid cylinders.
The prospects we just went with did not pan out. Ossie was supposed to be a stud, and the kid just tanked. He didn't show up. He was injured. He didn't really have a chance to impress anybody.
I think this is the beginning of rebuilding an unbelievable team with Kyle Pitts around. Kyle Pitts is he is a top 5 player in this draft. I think he's probably one of the top 5 players, period, in this draft.
Yeah.
And him falling to 15 would be unbelievably good luck for the Patriots. So I think that a lot of Patriots fans would probably be pretty happy with grabbing Kyle Pitts at 15.
Oh, 100%. So next up, I'm going to actually change up where I went with this one as well.
Where did we even go with this one?
I'm sticking similar, though.
Where did we even go with this one? Do you remember? Oh, we went. I remember.
So last time I went with Najee Harris. I'm sticking to my guns
with the running back.
They need a running back. Because you got to think they went for Kenyon Drake. He showed up when they first got him. Yes, it's definitely going to be Travis Etienne.
All right.
But Kenyon Drake showed up when he came to Arizona in 2019. Yep. Going into 2020, they expected him to be an absolute stud, to wreck everything, to be able to just ball over everybody. It didn't happen. He was okay. He was pretty good at the start of the season, and then he just kind of immediately just started to dip down further and further as the season progressed, to the point where they almost had a switchback with him and Chase Edmonds. They really didn't have a designated top running back anymore.
Yep.
Mainly because I'm a big fantasy guy. One of my fantasy teams, I thought I would have the best running back duo. I had both Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds. They projected almost the same every week, and they produced about the same every week.
Roughly, yeah.
Kyler Murray was their top rusher, 100%.
Yes, he was.
So I think getting Travis Etienne to take that little bit of rush off of Kyler Murray, to give him a chance to sit in the pocket more, to be able to focus on using DeAndre Hopkins the way he can be used, I think will be a lot better.
Okay. All right, so now we got the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said Oakland, but they're not in Oakland.
I think last time we did say Oakland.
I'm pretty sure I said Oakland last time. But yeah, the Las Vegas Raiders. You need an interior offensive lineman for sure.
Oh, yeah,
some edge on the outside. And with that, I think your man John Gruden goes super splashy with this pick. Okay? They snag Gregory Rousseau.
Oh, okay.
Gregory Rousseau is one of those players who could, at the end of the day, be the number 1 defensive end that comes out of this draft. Probably the number 1 defensive lineman that comes out of this draft, period. He is an absolute freak of a specimen. He just needs some help. He needs just a little bit of help to figure out how to do things at the next level. He needs to up his technique just a little bit. There's been actually some concerns about his personality, that he maybe just doesn't have the drive to play. Don't know that for sure. Again, not professional at this.
I feel like
heard some stories about it.
That up, though.
So I think they go splashy here. We all know John Gruden loves splashy plays. We all know he loves going crazy. It's John Gruden. So I think that they grab Gregory Rousseau here. Yes, Joseph Asai is here. I think Gregory Rousseau has the higher overall ceiling, though. So I think they grab Gregory Rousseau there. Grab a great need for them.
All right.
Now the second pick for the Dolphins.
The Dolphins, I think they go defensive here.
Defensive.
As a New England Patriots fans, we saw the Dolphins twice last year. The one thing we were able to do against them, the only thing we were able to do against them, was we could run.
Yeah.
So I think that they really need that upfront presence, and I believe that they are going to go linebacker.
Ooh.
I believe they're going to go with Jeremiah Owusu out of Notre Dame, an absolute monster out of the back, off of that back line. Just could really dominate.
He's one of those players who could really do well just sitting in the middle, kind of shadowing, but he's also got some pretty good pass rushing ability. So he could end up being a very, very stud player overall.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so what does the Washington football team do?
So I gave them Mac Jones in the last one we just did, which a lot of people probably would have been mad about because they've got Alex Smith. I love Alex Smith. I've loved Alex Smith for a long, long, long time. So it was super happy for me to see him there. I think he's got another year or two left in him. So I gave him Mac Jones because Mac Jones has a lot of physical ability. He's got all the talent to do it at the next level. He just needs time. He is not a starting quarterback for his first year, anything like that. But I'm not giving him Mac Jones.
Okay, where are you going?
You're sitting here and you're like, well, what can we do to make our team better, okay? We've got a solid team. Our defense is a beast. Their defense is almost unstoppable.
Good.
It's so good. Your offensive line is okay. You've got probably one of the best young wide receivers in Terry McLaurin. He's freaking scary Terry.
Insane.
How scary would it be with Terry McLaurin and Jalen
Waddle?
My goodness.
Yeah.
If Jalen Waddle falls to them, I mean, how do you not? So I think that the Washington football team gets their second wide receiver in Jalen Waddle. You give Jalen Waddle to them, and all of a sudden you're looking at a very, very, very good team. A team that probably wins the division again.
Honestly, they could do it again.
I mean, unless the Cowboys decide to be good for once.
Who pictures the Cowboys actually being good
I get a lot of hate from Cowboys fans.
And
if Cowboys fans even watch my channel,
the Cowboys have had so many weapons, but they're just not doing anything with them. I don't think they're going to be good again this year. They're not going to be good next year.
And next up, Da Bears.
Da Bears.
Da Bears.
Da Bears. So, I don't even remember where I went with the Bears last time, but then
I think I remember. Maybe.
I don't necessarily, but
that's a lot of fun in this.
So, yes, the Bears do need a quarterback, but as you said, Mac Jones is not a starting quarterback.
No. Not at the moment. He could be in the future.
They don't have someone that they can learn from. They have.
You got Mitchell Trubisky, right? you got Mitchell Trubisky, right?
Yo, Mitch Trubisky.
You got Nick Foles.
Oh my God! No! I believe the Bears are going to focus on building their team other than a quarterback with this draft, and then go for somebody in the offseason. As you said, Cam Newton is going to be out there. He is not returning to the Patriots. No. I guarantee you, he's not returning to the Patriots.
No.
The Patriots are probably going to go after like Jimmy Garoppolo, or they might even try and target Deshaun Watson if possible.
It's been talked about. Deshaun Watson could be a very, very good get for them.
He could be a very, very good. He could be the next franchise quarterback of the Patriots. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna keep Cam Newton. He's one of the ones that I feel like could work in Chicago. He's a very big rush, and that's something that they lack. That is who I was looking at. I was looking at Samuel Cosme. I was looking at the big boy from Texas to give some protection.
This man's 6'7", 300 pounds.
6'7", 300 pounds. He is a big boy.
So I think
they go with the offensive line of Samuel Cosme.
No, I think he's one of those players you can kind of play him all over the line.
I agree.
He's got a lot of talent just about everywhere. He's going to be a very, very solid player up front for quite a number of years. And now we get to the Indianapolis Colts. So I've actually heard something really funny. I've heard a rumor of the Colts maybe going after Kirk Cousins. Yeah, and trying to trade for Kirk Cousins possibly is what I've heard. Yeah, obviously I've heard them going after Deshaun Watson, maybe Jimmy G. I've also heard the 49ers going after Kirk Cousins because of who their head coach is.
True.
So they don't have a quarterback right now. They don't have a starting quarterback. It's not whatever the one guy is, Tyrod Taylor. Is that who their backup is, Tyrod Taylor?
No, Tyrod Taylor's in
No,
L.A.
I think Tyrod Taylor's the backup for.
No, Tyrod Taylor was the starter for the Chargers, and then when he got hurt, when they punctured his rib, that was how Justin Herbert got his start.
Oh, yeah. That is how that happened. So who's the backup for the Colts?
They didn't really have one. They really didn't have an established one because I think it's Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers didn't miss a single start in his career.
Yeah, I mean, but he still needs to. They still needed to have some. Oh yeah, no, it's Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett's their backup quarterback. There we go.
He's not a starter.
He's not the starter. No. So you could go quarterback here. Quarterback is an option here. I don't necessarily think there's a quarterback on the board who deserves to go at this spot. But if they loved Mac Jones, they could go with Mac Jones. I don't see them going that way, though. I see them going a little interesting with this pick. Okay. You're sitting here and you're like, well, what do we need? Okay. We need a quarterback, don't we? I think that they grab Asante Samuel Jr. It is a little bit of a reach. Dude, don't get me wrong. It is a little bit of a reach. But I personally believe that after Asante Samuel Jr., the drop-off in talent in corner in this draft class is pretty large. So if you need a corner, it's probably better to try to grab one when you need it. And that's the big thing about the first round. Players start falling, or players that you need start being grabbed, and you have to reach a little bit. That's what a lot of teams will end up doing. They'll reach because they have a need instead of taking the best player available. So I think that their pick is Asante Samuel Jr. That's where they go.
All right.
Titans.
So with the Titans, I see them as 100% going defensive.
Okay.
Their offense is one of the top right now. You got the king of a rushing game right now with Derrick Henry. You have one of the most up and coming receivers with AJ Brown.
Yeah, he's.
And then you have just a solid overall quarterback with Ryan Tannehill. Those three together,
I love Ryan Tannehill.
Absolutely solid.
I love Ryan Tannehill.
I love Ryan Tannehill. I really do too.
Such a good.
I think they go defensive here. They really need to bring some extra, like a little bit extra push. I see them grabbing Joseph Osai. The edge of the Texas.
He's waiting there for him. That's a great fit for them. You're looking at this man. He's 6'3", 245, big boy. He gets off the ball quick though. He's got a great first step.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's a great pick for them. And now the Jets are swinging up on the board here. The Jets are swinging up on the board. You got your quarterback, or you got your quarterback of the future supposedly. So what do you do here? What are you looking at? You're like, okay, well, we need a corner. There's no cornerbacks we can take. We need an edge rusher. The next best edge rusher is maybe Jalen Phillips. I personally think the next best edge rusher on the board is Azeez Ojulari. And then after that, I think it's Carlos Basham. But that's just me.
Basham's good.
Basham's a beast. He had a great first day at the Senior Bowl. It was wonderful to watch.
So we're also doing this the day after.
Yes, Senior Bowl was just yesterday. It was yesterday. I mean, granted, there's still quite a bit more like practice days that happened during all this and whatnot. So what do? You need a wide receiver. You got Rashad Bateman sitting there. You need a running back. I don't think they take a running back. Yes, Najee Harris is sitting there, but I personally don't believe that more than one running back goes in the first round. Najee Harris could be sitting there waiting in the beginning of the second round for him. So what I think that they do here is I think you're sliding down, and you grab Kadarius Toney, the wide receiver out of Florida. We talked about this in the draft we just did a little bit ago. We did. I am ridiculously high on Kadarius Toney. I think Kadarius Toney could be the type of wide receiver that, just like Justin Jefferson in this last year's draft for the Vikings, he was the fifth player off the board at the wide receiver position, but he had the best year of any of the draft picks. Granted, I personally think that like Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith is probably going to have the better year. They are better players, but Kadarius Toney is one of those players who he kind of falls down the board a little bit, and he's not like projected. Like you've got Rashad Bateman projected ahead of him. I think Kadarius Toney is going to be one of probably the top three wide receivers in this next year. Overall, as a rookie, he's going to be one of the best three rookie wide receivers in the entire NFL.
I could agree with that.
Now you got the
Pittsburgh
Steelers.
So where I went last time was I actually
picked up Dwayne Haskins.
They picked up Dwayne Haskins?
They picked up Dwayne Haskins.
Well, okay. Last time with this pick, I went with Travis Etienne. This is where I had him going.
Yes.
Because I don't believe James Conner is he's not good anymore.
No,
He's not. He's not an RB1. An RB2 or a third down back, maybe, but he's not an RB1.
Yeah. He's a great power back.
Yeah, I mean, I think Najee Harris could go here, but I'm also kind of lean away from that a little bit. I do believe that they need the offensive line more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And out of what's left, honestly, I could see.
Let's look at. So these are the offensive tackles that we got sitting here. You got Jalen Mayfield, Alex Leatherwood, Taven Jenkins.
I'm gonna say the Jets or the Steelers are gonna go with Alex Leatherwood.
Gonna go Alex Leatherwood. Okay.
I'm thinking Alex Leatherwood. I feel like he's probably the best that's remaining.
In terms of offensive tackles, yes, definitely.
Yeah, so I could definitely see them going for that, getting that extra protection if Big Ben does come back for one more
maybe
year.
Go Elijah Vera Tucker as well. Might be another solid option there. But I feel like offensive tackle is just a little bit bigger of a need than offensive guard is for them. And Alex Leatherwood, the dude's 6'5", 312. He's a tough guy to move. He is a tough guy to move.
God, it's weird. It's weird to me to think that next year, the older players in the draft will be like the 2000s.
I know, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I know.
I don't want to
think
about it. So we got the Jaguars coming back up here. Urban Meyer getting his second pick as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you're like, well, what do we do? Our offensive tackles are gone. Our cornerbacks are gone. Our tight ends are gone. This is where I see them going a little crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I shocked you with picking this player last time. I don't think I picked him to Jacksonville in our last one.
You didn't. I know where you did.
No, but we're gonna swing in here. Where is he? Where's my boy? Where the heck is he? Where the heck's my boy here? There he is. Trayvon Moehrig, okay? I by far think he is the best safety in this draft class. I think he should probably be a first-round pick, as I'm saying right here. He could probably go much higher than this in the draft if he has a great pro day and everything. But you get a player like this, and you're sitting there, you're like, well, we'd be reaching on an offensive tackle. We'd be reaching on a lot of other options that we'd have. You've got a solid stud running back. You've got stud wide receivers. You could go another wide receiver. You could give them, because I think I gave them. I think I gave him Rashad Bateman.
You gave him Rashad Bateman.
I think I gave him Rashad Bateman last time. Rashad Bateman would be a great pick there as well. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown would be a great pick there. But I think that if a player like Trayvon Moehrig is there, and you know that he's not going to be there for you to maybe pick with their first pick of the second round, because I believe they have the first pick of the second round. They should.
Yeah, I believe so.
If you don't know for sure that he's going to be there, and you think that he is your guy, you take him there. You take a guy like that there. Because he probably doesn't make it past this area here. Because like the Packers, I could see the Packers going Trayvon Moehrig there.
Oh yeah.
But we got the Brownies. We got the Brownies.
Got the Browns.
Need an edge rusher.
They really need an edge rusher.
Interior defensive line, linebacker.
Yeah. They need an edge rusher or a cornerback. They really need that extra presence.
You got Zaven Collins still sitting here.
Zaven Collins is still sitting there. He is an absolute monster.
6'4", 260.
I'm torn between two here.
Wow.
I'm thinking I'm going to drop. I think the Browns are going to take Zaven Collins. I think they're going to take him.
Zaven Collins there.
I think they're going to take Zaven Collins.
That's a great pick for them. It gives them somebody in the middle of that line there who's just a physical presence everywhere he goes. Now you got the Baltimore Ravens. A team that doesn't have a whole lot of holes when you really think about it. So you're like, okay, what do you do here? Do you go edge? Do you go tight end? No. You go interior offensive line with Elijah Vera Tucker. Their entire premise of their entire team is based on running the ball with Lamar Jackson, with their pretty soon going to be an absolute stud running back.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going to be an absolute slaughterhouse next year if you give them somebody like Elijah Vera Tucker, who is arguably the number one interior offensive lineman in this draft class. I think I would maybe kind of could debate that between Wyatt Davis and him. I like Wyatt Davis a lot. A lot of people are a lot lower on him than some other people are. But
Yeah.
Elijah Tucker, I think, is probably the best interior offensive lineman in this entire draft.
Yeah.
So grabbing him there at 27 would be unbelievably good for them.
That'd be really good for them. But coming up to this next pick with the New Orleans Saints, last season really showed that the Saints were a little bit lacking in some places. They relied very, very heavily on one specific player, and that was they relied on Kamara.
Well, as soon as Michael Thomas went out.
Michael Thomas went out. It showed the weakness that they have in receivers. They had to rely on Traquan Smith, Emmanuel Sanders, those who could have been good, just weren't. And their tight ends really aren't the greatest either. They have Jared Cook, who kind of had a lackluster season.
Yeah, played all right.
Taysom Hill was their go-to.
Taysom Hill's a freak.
So I think they go receiver. I same pick here as I did last time. I gave them Rashad Bateman, and I'm sticking to my guns on that one. I think they need that guy in the slot. If Michael Thomas is back, they're still going to have the long-range receiver, whereas they can have Bateman, quick feet, right across the slot, very agile player. I think he'd be very better and better for the team. So
I think you're sitting here, and you got the Green Bay Packers. I think if Trayvon Moehrig is here, that's this pick. Again, if he's not sitting there for if Jacksonville doesn't take him, I think the Ravens take him there. So I don't even think he makes it this far anyway.
Yeah.
So we're sitting here with Green Bay, and you're like, okay, I hate Green Bay, so I can give them a crappy pick. I'm not going to do that. This is all about unbiased, just what we think they're actually going to do. Okay, they need a corner. I think Kevin King's going to be gone. Kevin King had one of the worst showings I've ever seen by a cornerback in a playoff game ever.
My God.
And I watched the Minneapolis Miracle happen.
And there was that defensive pass interference call right at the end. He was just pulling.
Yeah, it was bad. So I think you could go corner here. Again, it's a reach because then you're looking at Eric Stokes, you're looking at Aaron Robinson. So you're like, okay, what do we do here?
Yeah.
What do we need to solidify us as a team? Do we take Mac Jones and give us more quarterback controversy? Aaron Rodgers did good after we gave him quarterback controversy the first time. But here's the other thing is, if you don't give Aaron Rodgers some sort of weapon or something early in this draft, if you don't give him something to help him win, you're not doing anything for him at all. So it's going to be a little weird. I'm giving him Amon-Ra St. Brown, 2 back-to-back wide receivers there. I think this is who they take anyway, even if Rashad Bateman was sitting there. Amon-Ra St. Brown's one of those guys who he's a lot farther down the board than I think he should be. He's a very all-rounded, good wide receiver. He's got a lot of technical skill. He's just not necessarily like splashy plays and just like crazy numbers all the time, but he's the kind of guy that you're going to get great production out of for the whole season. Get the Buffalo Bills.
Coming up next for the Buffalo Bills, again, another team that I know pretty well because my team plays them a lot. The Bills really need the secondary. They got smoked by the Chiefs. Tyreek Hill, they got absolutely
Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce, Hardman, just picked that team apart and really showed where they're weak. See, there's not much to give them here in terms of cornerbacks. I don't think they go that route right away. They really need to focus on what's available. Looking at what we have right now, I think they take Nick Bolton. I think they need that big defensive presence. They need someone up front. Then they focus later in the draft on getting that presence in the back of the field because their secondary is garbage ever since Stephon Gilmore left. That has been one of their worst positions.
This is going to be the most controversial pick that I'm going to take this entire draft. Okay. It's not going to get more controversial than this. I'm going to take it, and then I'll explain why after.
Oh, please let me hear the reasoning on this one.
All right, so hear me out here, everybody. Hear me out before you start chewing me out, before you start losing your minds. Yes, I know they have Tom Brady, but who do they have behind Tom Brady? Tom Brady is old.
Who do they have behind Tom Brady?
Nobody. That's the point. Tom Brady is getting up there in years, and yes, apparently he can just turn back time and just be amazing. But how good would Mac Jones be if he got to sit behind Tom Brady for 2 or 3 years?
No, Brady does not have 3 years left. He's not going to go until he's 46.
We said that, not him making it to 44.
He's 43 right now.
Yeah, he's going to be 44 and making the Super Bowl.
He's not going to go that far. If he, honestly, here's the thing. If he wins this Super Bowl,
this could be it.
Retire.
It could be it. And then you're looking for a quarterback, and you could go Mac Jones.
He has, at most, 1 more season.
Yeah, and so you take Mac Jones here, okay? Mac Jones is a very good quarterback. They don't have a lot of holes. The other player I was going to give them, and it's probably who I would give them if I didn't go with this crazy pick, is Davion Nixon. I think he'd be great for their defensive line. They've already got a great run-stopping defense.
They really do.
He's just a behemoth in the middle that'll just take up space. He's just a very good player overall. So I think that's who I'd go with if I did not give them Mac Jones. But think about it. You've got the greatest quarterback in history probably. And you grab a quarterback in the first round with the 31st pick. You don't have a lot of holes. You could make another run at the Super Bowl because they're going to lose. They're going to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. You're sitting there and you're like, okay, well, Kyle Trask probably will not be there. I mean, Kyle Trask will not probably be there at the end of the second round. No. Yes, he's ranked 96, but with this many quarterbacks going off the board, somebody else is going to take him. And then you're looking at Jamie Newman.
Honestly, I kind of could see the Pats making a swing at him if he's still there when their second pick comes along.
Kyle Trask, I definitely think that they could go with him in their second round pick. I think the Vikings could take him with their third round pick if he's somehow managing to sit there. I don't think that'll happen.
I don't think he'll be their third.
But I think Mac Jones, yes, it's controversial. Yes, it would be strange to see them do that with Tom Brady still there. But even if you get a maximum 2 years left, you've got this player sitting behind Tom Brady for 2 years, and then he takes over, and you still are a competitive football team because they're a young team. So they've got a lot of future potential. But as soon as you get rid of Tom Brady, where are you left? If you don't get that quarterback of the future after Tom Brady, Tom Brady's not your quarterback of the future. Tom Brady's a fossil.
Tom Brady's your quarterback right now.
Tom Brady's a fossil. Okay, he's a fossil that's revived himself somehow. But so, yeah, I'm gonna go with Mac Jones there. I'm having Tampa Bay take Mac Jones.
So with the last pick, this makes no sense why they think they need receivers.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Their number one need is wide receiver.
I don't understand that.
It just shows you how many holes they don't have.
Yeah, they really don't have any big weaknesses.
No holes.
But with this team right here, I could see them going for something a little bit on the outside, a little bit like something they might not immediately need, but I feel like they could really benefit from. I could really see them going with an inside lineman, inside offensive lineman. I could definitely see Wyatt Davis ending up in Kansas City after the last pick.
Davis with the last pick. Wyatt Davis is a beast. I think that would be a great pick for them there. That would be an awesome pick there. That's what the draft's looking like. This is just a little quick overview. We got Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Devontae Smith, Zach Wilson, Rashawn Slater, rounding out the top 5. Like, this is a very, very solid draft. I don't think this is eventually how it'll all turn out because I don't think Jamar Chase makes it to the Vikings.
Imagine if we hit the nail on the head and every single pick is right.
Oh my God, I'm gonna come back to this if we get even 60% of these picks correct. I'm gonna come back and be like, you know what, I need to do this professionally. If I did this, if we did this correct, this is insane.
Honestly,
but that is our first NFL mock draft. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these before the actual NFL draft.
During the draft with our,
100%. We will be doing that. There will be a live stream during the draft, and we'll be reacting live. I'll have a cool thing going across the top of the screen. But I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more of these. Probably some of them I'll do myself. We'll get Mikeyyy in here again for some of these, and we'll just keep doing them until the draft time comes around. And we'll just kind of see where things change, where we end up drafting players. And we'll just keep doing that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you, Mikeyyy, for hanging out with me. I appreciate this a lot.
Thank you for having me.
And with that, we will close this out. And I hope that all of you have a wonderful rest of your day. If you guys did enjoy this, make sure you guys slap that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter at AbsoluteColton. This man will be his Twitter, his YouTube, everything will be in the description down below. So go check him out as well. Go subscribe to him. Go follow him on Twitter. He is one of my best friends on the entire planet. And with that, I will see you all in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.